Sunday morning service at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship here in beautiful Laguna Beach. My name is Pamela Floodman, and I will be serving as the worship associate this morning. Our Zoom and audiovisual texts today are Don West Jr., Paul Bogdan, and Dara Skarecki. Today, our service is entitled A Lens on Local Community. A Lens on Local Community, Culture Shifts. And we are delighted to welcome to UUFLB this morning Douglas Miller, who I think is known to many of you, a longtime Laguna resident who will be sharing with us his photography and also, I think, his music. And the perspectives that the images that he has taken over the decades can give us on the nature of community. Being aware of the past gives us an opportunity to learn from our history, engage in the present, and make wise choices and make a difference for the future. This week, for our gathering music, I wanted to find music that embodies this sense of community and of history and of change over time, and of the power of images to capture our changing communities. And so I hope you enjoyed the gathering music this morning. I think you did, because I could see people kind of bopping in their seats to the music. Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. This music always makes me want to sing along and to share. And I know we've used other versions of Everyday People in previous services. The version we watched this morning seemed to me to really capture our theme for this service. The lens that we bring and the images that we take as we consider our community and how our community changes over time. So I'm very much looking forward to the images that Douglas will be sharing later during this service. Each Sunday, anywhere there is a service held in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a chalice is lit. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our faith. If you've joined us this morning by Zoom, I invite you to light a chalice within your home. And I would like to invite Sherry Keith to come up to light the chalice for us here at UUFLB this morning. In UU communities, oh yeah, yay, thank you, Sherry. In UU communities, February is the month of the Side with Love campaign. Fits around with Valentine's Day, I guess. And the Side with Love campaign is a time to affirm unconditional universal love as a foundation and a grounding for our actions in our communities and in the world. So our chalice lighting words this morning are from Reverend Maureen Killoran, who served UU congregations in British Columbia and in multiple states here in the US. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith that we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessing of the love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember and to share. So thank you, Sherry, for lighting our chalice this morning to begin our time of worship. And throughout the service this morning, if you are here with us in the building, I invite you, if you wish, to come forward and light a candle here in the sanctuary in recognition of whatever it is that you are carrying in your heart as you join us for worship today. At UUFLB, we are a welcoming congregation with a commitment to work together to actively dismantle systemic racism and oppression in all of its forms. Whoever you are, whomever you love, no matter your age, your gender, your ancestral or ethnic background, and whatever sincere questions you have brought with you here this morning. Whatever it is that has brought you here today, we welcome you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow as spiritual and ethical beings, to this community which supports each of us as we work to make a difference in our world. And many thanks to the many teams here at UUFLB who work together each week to create these opportunities for us to worship together, to be together in a community, our hardworking board and worship committee, everyone who helps take care of this building, which is a beautiful old building and does need care, and who helps to prepare this space each Sunday for worship, who organizes the other events during the week, such as the Zoom at Noon discussion group. And if you're looking for a way to be more involved, or if you've joined us maybe today for the first time, please reach out and get in touch with us if you would like to be added to the email mailing list so that you can receive advance notice of every service and other events, so that we can connect together as we build community, so that we can connect together to build a strong base from which we go out and make a difference in the world. I think now Dawn will bring up a slide for us with information about upcoming services in the next couple of weeks here at UUFLB. Next Sunday, February 19th, Don West Jr. will be coming back to join with us in person to lead the second of a monthly series of services that he's crafted, which focus on the Unitarian Universalist principles, which we're taking as a base for our challenge to face the future and to face changes that may be needed. And the second principle is that Unitarian Universalists affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. So thank you, Dawn, for taking on the second principle and leading our service here next Sunday. I hope you're all able to come. On the fourth Sunday of every month, we have a social justice Sunday where we focus on topics that are important for our work in social justice in the community. And so again, I hope that you're able to attend often on fourth Sundays for the social justice services. As far as announcements go, I think the only announcements I have are standard announcements to remind people about our Monday noontime Zoom at Noon discussion group, where everyone is welcome to come and join and share in community. And then also this past week, about a week ago, this congregation did do their monthly service to support and bring food for the alternative sleeping location in the Laguna Beach Canyon. And this is something that we do every month together with Tapestry. Our members, John and Bruce from Tapestry, coordinate for us to be able to give to community in that way. And please speak with John or Bruce or me or Candy if you're interested in being involved with that service. In preparation for this morning's service, for our service this week, I have been thinking about communities and thinking about how our perspectives change over time. And my thoughts are going to go back a while. In 1988, when I learned I would be moving from the Northeast to Southern California to attend graduate school, I remember attending an event that summer when an older couple who didn't know me learned that I was going to be moving to Orange County, and they told me how much I was going to enjoy living here. They spoke about how very conservative the population was, and that it was a place that they had really connected with when they visited here. And I don't remember how I responded. I don't remember the details. I think they were actually the hosts of this lovely summer evening event in Connecticut. And I probably didn't respond as well as I hope I might now. But I remember thinking, my goodness, what have I got myself into? I came here for graduate school because it was a wonderful program, but I wasn't really looking to come to a place that had a single viewpoint. And luckily, when I came here, because I was part of the university community, I encountered a diversity of perspectives, and that's something that I've always thrived on. But I think about that perspective from this couple in Connecticut, because it is part of the reality of the history of Orange County. And I think it's important for us to keep that in mind, to know that as we move forward with our intention to, as a liberal community of faith, make a difference in community. So if you fast forward about 15 years or so, I started attending this fellowship here in Laguna Beach. And of course, I met many more individuals with diverse perspectives that focus on the many communities here in Orange County. And I remember meeting our member, Kurt Topic, who talked with me about his work in the 50s in real estate, when he was pressured in Laguna not to engage in real estate interactions that would lead to Black individuals living in Laguna, and how he fought against that. Over time, we've had visitors to this community who have taught us about the Ahashimen Nation, the Ahashimen community, the indigenous peoples on whose land we are currently standing and worshiping this morning. We've learned just a little bit about the communities north of Laguna Beach, where there were individuals of Japanese background who were farming in these communities, and those families were moved during World War II to internment camps. And that's a piece of the history I don't yet know enough about, and I want to learn more. But I guess what I want to say is how much I value this community as a place where we can be brave enough together to learn about our history, some of which is perhaps not to be proud of here in this part of the country, but also learn about it and incorporate it and make moves towards the future that will make a difference both here and make a difference in the world. So these were some of the things that I was thinking about as we were preparing for this service today, with our lens on local community. And I know that Douglas is bringing to us images that he's taken, hundreds of images that he's taken over many decades, documenting Laguna Beach. And I can tell just from talking with him this morning that he has an encyclopedic memory for changes that occur over time. And he'll be sharing that with us today in his images. And I'm very much looking forward to today's service. So our centering thought this morning does focus on this concept of a lens on community. And the centering thought I took from Coretta Scott King. And I like how these words remind us that communities are not static, but dynamic, and that our actions make a difference. So Dawn has put the words up on the screen, and I invite you to read these words together with me if you wish, and to unmute yourself if you have joined us this morning by Zoom. So please read together with me. I hope they're visible on the screens. Good. Okay, read together with me then. The greatness of a community is more accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Thank you all for joining us today in person, on Zoom. Thank you for being a part of this community and for committing to make a difference. Our opening hymn this morning is number 1066, O Brother Sun. The words of this hymn are from St. Francis of Assisi, and I think they're a wonderful way to greet this beautiful new day. So please join with our music director, Carol Cole, in singing this beautiful hymn. And this morning we have the pleasure of also having violin from Douglas accompanying the piano.
Please stand if you would like to as we sing Oh Brother Sun. We're gonna go around. Oh brother sun, you bring us light, all shining round in fiery night. Oh sister Your beauty shines in tenderness. Oh, brother wind, you swing the hills, your mighty breath both freshens and fills. Oh, sister water, you cleanse and flow through rivers and streams in ice and snow. Oh, brother fire, you warm my night with all your dancing colored light. Oh, sisters, you feel all things, all birds, all creatures, all scales and wings. Oh, sister death, you meet us here and take us to our God so near. Oh, God of life, we give you praise for all of your creatures, for all of your days.
Thank you. Let us take a moment now to remind ourselves why we come together as a community. I invite you to read these words together when and if it feels right for you. And if you have joined us by Zoom, again, please unmute your microphone so that your voice can be joined together with the voices here in the fellowship building. The words of the unison affirmation are on your screens, and please join me in reading. Love is the spirit of fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We have come to a time in our service to briefly share the important events that have touched our lives in this past week. During this sharing, as we share our joys, they can extend beyond ourselves into our community. And we can provide for each other support and care that are vital for all of us as we share our sorrows. So during this time of sharing our joys and concerns, we will pause the recording of the service, because in this fellowship, it is as much a blessing to be able to give as it is to receive. We are a self-governing, a self-sustaining community, and so we know it's our responsibility to both give and to receive and to do both well. We depend on the love and the generous contributions from our members. And during this time of offering, as we pass the basket within the fellowship, the information on the screen provides additional ways that you can give, either electronically or by sending a check to the fellowship. So while we have the offertory, I think that Carol will be providing us with some music. So please now stand as you are comfortable and turn so that you're facing each other as we sing to each other these words of sincere gratitude. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Let us enter now into the spirit of prayer or of meditation. You may wish to close your eyes, rest your hands in your lap. Feel your feet firmly connected to the ground beneath you. Allow your shoulders to relax. And follow your breath as you breathe in and out. In and out. Breathe in peace. And breathe out love. Following a short time of silent meditation, Carol will play some brief bars to bring us back to the present time. So now it is my pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker, Douglas Miller. Douglas is a painter, a violinist, and a photographer. He began taking pictures in the Navy, and since 1968, as a street photographer, has taken, he says, around 350,000 black and white photos with film, mostly of Laguna, its community and its people. And I don't think we're going to get to see all 350,000 today. Add in color film, and he's taken more than 500,000 photos. And he has been busy now scanning and posting them to Facebook for the past 10 years and has become, as he calls it, a contemporary historian of Laguna Beach. As an artist, he has painted every day for 28 years and is nearing 20,000 pieces. which is impressive. Well, that's good. Does that mean there's 3,000 in your home? Perhaps he's, for those of you on Zoom, Doug has said he sold 17,000. So I'm not sure if the 3,000 are in his home. And has been an exhibitor at the Sawdust Festival since 1971. He grew up in Long Beach, where his parents had him take private violin lessons. And we certainly heard some of the benefits of the commitment to music this morning. He's accompanied numerous singers at Sawdust, has played the Coach House with his stage partners and with the band The Moon Police. I know Doug has also been a visitor here at the fellowship in the past, including with the Moon Police, to provide their music for us and other residents in Laguna. And this Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day evening, if you're looking for something to do, Doug will be playing at the Seahorse in Laguna. So we were lucky to get him today to be able to engage him to come and talk with us here. What I'm going to do is move to the back and pull up the slideshow. And then Doug, I think you're going to have control of it to be able to advance the slides as you talk. So join me in welcoming Doug Miller.
Can't hear anything online, folks.
Flying saucers. They've landed. See, that's it. Yes. No, I don't have psychic readings about Laguna, and flying saucers landing on top of the church. It has a flat roof up there. It's a pretty good place for it. Anyway, I've been taking pictures in Laguna since basically got in the Navy. Got a camera overseas. And then when I went, and I got more hip to it, I was taking pictures. This is the USS Princeton in Long Beach. I took that as our ship was in the yard. So I spent 2 yards in Long Beach. I had 2 cruises to Vietnam and back. But that's irrelevant to what I'm doing. It's not Laguna, but anyway. This was, oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Well, those people are nice. Okay, we'll go back. There. This lady was at Crescent Bay back in like 19, she was like, early 1960 68, 69. This is like my earliest stuff. And I just took a telephoto lens and had fun. I was learning how to take pictures, but a lady named Frida Yeager made a poster of it. Her glasses reflect her dress, and I know you can't see the eyelashes. It's the effect of it there. Okay, let's see. I'm clicking. Uh-oh. All right, it's not moving. Yeah. It's all right. We'll just oh, there we go. Yeah, that's another Crescent Bay. This is fun. This was the Laguna Beach, the canyon happening in 1970. Yeah. What is it? Okay. Oh, I pointed over there. Okay. That's what we're doing. Yeah, this canyon in 1970 was blocked off. Remember that? Anybody go to that? Yes, you were there. I walked out there. I was in the Navy at the time, but I was in civies and it got dropped off there and ran around all day. This is backstage behind the old thing, but it took about black and whites. I had 4 rolls of slides that got ruined because they took them back to the ship and the photo mate said he could develop my film free. Yeah, right. And then the water all turned hot on the ship and stripped the film. But the black and white survived. I'm just lucky to have these. This nice old lady backstage, she was cranky, ornery little lady. But that was everybody choking on the smoke later at night in that place. But Richard Wilkins, he was the bouncer here, but he became in our band when Corky Carroll's and the Funk Dog Surf Band I was in. He was our saxophone guy. Michael Gwynn, no longer with us, was a wonderful guitar singer. He played a lot of rock and roll. I don't have to look up there. I see it there. Anyway, yeah, so these people are all starving and freezing and cold, but they listened to Buddy Miles, who came out there. I was the only person really showed up. But I'll look through a few of these. There's the stage. Woke up with whole fire and brimstone with a preacher on the stage that Sunday morning. Yeah, Christmas morning. Yeah, that's Christmas morning. The folks standing around out there. The Hell's Angels were 1,000 Hell's Angels on their motorbikes. And all these folks watching. Anyway, yeah. And I got to know who that girl was later on, or her name, but I forgot what it is. This is, and by the way, this stuff is picked up in my house. Okay, I put this stuff on, and it's just random. This is a painting of mine. So I'll go through Janice Jensen's house out on Roosevelt Lane. There's Thalia. That's at the Bluebird Park, Thanksgiving. And there's Crescent Bay and Arch at Arch Beach and Cliff Drive right over here. And Fisherman, Divers Cove, and we get out of these. And Bluebird, that's the last one. And then kids and yeah. I went out hunting pictures. I went hunting pictures. I took the sport of getting a great picture, really, you know, just to do it. That was the energy at the time. Here's Anna Banana Hamilton. Anna Banana and the Bunch was her band. She's still around up in Northern California. And she was saving the redwoods, went up there, and she's been playing about Jan Alabaster. She teaches the birth classes over at the Presbyterian Church area all the time. Yeah, her daughter, Jana, committed suicide at age 16. Very sad, but she carries that with her. She teaches birth child class, pretty heavy stuff. Pat Osborne at Suncat. She had a pet skunk out in Laguna Canyon for a long time. Annie Wildwood, one of our people in Laguna in the 70s. She was into nature. Here's our original Laguna Beach swings. I've got more of those later, but this the swing set is on Main Beach for a long time, and everybody misses them. Later, they put in more modern swings, but they got undermined by the tides and tilted and were taken out. But the swings were never put back. This over at Divers Cove, just pictures into the sun, black and white. Well, I took the black and white. I took a lot of slides. I took like 40,000 slides, but I haven't even touched those. But the black and white, why black and white? Because the values are wonderful in that. I learned that over the years that you got. It took a while. First, I went to Yosemite and took color pictures of Yosemite. I met a guy there, he was taking the black and white. It has nothing to do with Ansel Adams, but everything's of equal value in color. So you end up with some pink purse being just as loud as everything else. Here's the Laguna Greenbelt. This is back where they developed that over there into those houses out there. And then I got Barbara Stewart was our landlady, right? I lived with her 8 years in her house. She took me in after the Navy and met Becky, and then she got married and lived there. But she was founded the Ballet Pacifica with Leela Solly. So they brought me in. I took pictures for the kids. They had their publicity lady who thought I was a pest. But I took the pictures of the dancers on stage at the dress rehearsals. So I got some wonderful knowledge of how to take pictures of dancers. You have to get their feet if you don't have their feet. Here's Lynn Allinger. Yeah, Candy knows Lynn. And this is a Sawdust construction. So I was in Sawdust all these years. I've been to every Sawdust. That's Trista Terwilliger as a little kid. She's grown up and has a flock of kids. Barbara Stewart. She was the secretary of the Laguna Beach Greenbelt Committee with Jim Dilley. And they had their Greenbelt meetings at Barbara Stewart's house every week, every month. You know, every week, it really was for a while there. It was intense. And this is Janine Anderson. After her makeup was on, she was crying. I don't know why, but there's me at Sawdust in 1974. And yeah, there's the fella. and Jan Costello and Ed Van Dusen. He basically founded the Sawdust Festival. He's the guy that wrote the rules. The first rules got approved by the city of Laguna Beach. There were 4 people there, but Van Dusen was the chief guy who wrote out what they were going to do. Here's Cliff Mabra Jr. He played a sour saxophone all the time. You probably knew Clifford. And the Funks, so Doris and Bill Funk. These people are the folks who lent the land to the Sawdust Festival in the first place, established it. Valley Pacifica. And the Nutcracker, yeah. That's Mother Ginger and the Ginger Snaps. Kathy Jo Kahn is the one in the middle getting picked up by the kids. These are the nursing home residents at the Patriots Day Parade. They're from the Al-Himsa. Remember Al-Himsa? I called it Al-Himsa. Anyway, that's and Patriots Day Parade, the Laguna artists. No longer the artists, now we're the breakers, but there's it says artists. Yep, that's what. And yeah, I love getting a good picture of the bands going by. And that's Maria Spurgeon. Her mom was Anne Spurgeon, who saved the whales. That's what I think with their kid. Oh gosh, an upside down one? I don't believe it. Never mind. I don't know how that happened. There's our Laguna Beach band and the singers. This is 1974 parade. So, yeah. It said it's in the year Dr. Vincent Carroll. Anybody know that fellow? He was one of our town doctors. He was a really well-liked, wonderful doctor, and they honored him that year. The Eschbach building on Forest Avenue. We all know that Mr. Eschbach. Yeah, him and his partner for this wonderful place. And they didn't let anybody take pictures inside. That's too bad. You know, they put up their beautiful Christmas display. It was just magnificent every year. And there's, you know, Stottlemeyer's. Yeah, the old place where everybody hung out. Came Laguna Deli and later on, and now, yeah, it's still around. Oh, I don't believe that. I put them in right. Anyway, that's Bach to Rock was at Betsy Reinhold's house. This is Storyville playing. Buddy Miles sat in later with them. I say Buddy Miles, it's interesting. The only person practically I met was from somewhere else like that. And he was at her event. But anyway, Storyville was with parts of the Honk Band and people, musicians from Laguna. Candy knows very well who they were. But anyway, after school, once a month, Betsy Reinhold for 2 years put on Bach to Rock, and the cool kids would come over. There would be a musician, a band, somebody, a versatile musician. She had a harpist, she had a flautist, and a pianist, and then they have the different bands, and we played there, and Corky's band played there, and Storyville, and some pretty renowned people she had. Yeah, that's Linda Zeiser. There's Peter Carr and Jeannie Bernstein. They protested the nuclear power plants. They were progressive. Jeannie Bernstein's wonderful. She did so much work for the environment. She and Eleanor Henry went to prison for jail like 30 times for civil disobedience, going to Nevada to the testing grounds and getting arrested. Peter Carr was her love at the end of her life. He died of a heart attack not too long, maybe 2 years in. Belinda Blackader, she's up in Northern California these days. And there's Dane Blanton. Dane won the gold medal at the Australian Olympics for beach volleyball. And there he is as a little kiddo on the street. He grew up out there in Canyon Acres Drive. Here's Jennifer Blue. She had a clothing line. She still is making clothes. There's Jana Alabaster with, Beverly Blumenfeld. But Jana's the one who took her own life later on. There's good old Ray Bradbury at his book signing down at Fahrenheit 451 on Coast Highway. These were Ray with his illustrator. That's his illustrator for his book back there. Will Brady, he's played here. He's played everywhere. We love Will. He's a really great authority on the blues. He really is. He knows what he's doing more than people realize. And Sue Breedice, but now Breedice, that was Sue Magera. Her brother played in the band I was in later. At this time, I didn't know her. That's Sue. Looks different, but portraits are wonderful. This is Buffalo Bill. He hung up on Forest Avenue to get bucks for his booze. Yeah, and he posed for you, do this act. And oh yeah, that name, I know this kid. Yeah, oh, I'll get past it. Now this is at Trotter's Bakery. That's Gracie Butts. She was the lady on the counter at the Trotter's Bakery way back. Anybody remember Trotter's? That's before the Renaissance Bakery came in. And the Renaissance Bakery, that becomes one of these restaurants down here next door to Mulan, and here's the original swings in Main Beach as they were. Too bad they're not there now because everybody loved them. Streisand, The Way We Were, and that old fella there, her daughter found this picture, put this picture up, and she identified him as her dad. And the only picture she ever had of him is this shot I took of him, and it's by his store. There's a lot of pictures I took that ended up with the last pictures of people, or the only person of pictures of somebody. Ballet Pacific on stage. I was on the wings. Taking pictures from the wings is a fun, most wonderful thing to do. You get that was Sleeping Beauty, by the way. This is just off the beach here. Windy day. Late afternoon. That's Fisher. That's Shaw's Cove. Oh yeah, that's before there were palm trees out there on Contino Point. Back then it was Twin Points. And the classic view is the guy was down there. It's the classic view. So I had to take pictures. It's the classic view. That's it. Yeah, that. There's by the gazebo at Heisler. There's Jim Dilley. Here's our Greenbelt president. Mildred Hannum and Barbara Stewart. Mildred Hannum in the middle is one of the unsung heroes of Laguna. She went to did the official stuff, the documents for the Laguna Greenbelt, working on that. She did all this work, and she lived in she was a little mousy lady, lived in a house covered by bushes. She didn't want anybody to see. She didn't really see what she was about. But she's one of our unsungs. Barbara Stewart was heroic in her own way. Another thing, yeah. And Jim Dilley founded the Ballet Pacifica, of course. Jim Dilley probably did more for Laguna than any other single person. I believe that. We don't have houses on these hills up here because of that guy right there. There's Sherry Candelaria. Yeah, and she sold flowers at all the graduations later. She lives in Hawaii. She had like 5 kids. There's Sherry, beautiful kid. And that's Cheryl Carroll. That's Corky Carroll's wife. She's in Hawaii now. They broke up later. Yeah, that's my son being held by Nashoma Dawson. Oh, my wife's at the left. That's Becky. I don't think I have pictures of my family here, but I do. That's Nashoma, anyways, in Halcyon up by what was that place? The Split Pea place, Andersonville, the town. I don't know. Well, anyway, she lives up there these days. Back then, she lived up San Remo Drive and had 4 kids. Yeah. Tana Cavella, she's best friends with Nancy Ruska of the candy shop. Oh, Tex Barnett. He lived on Hive Drive over here. He was an character actor in the movies. And he'd wheel himself down to the Marine Room every day and go in there and get drunk and go home. Yeah. But that's his thing. And he showed me his box of pictures once. He had a cardboard little shoebox of his old pictures people post there. They'd go through that regularly and have some memories. Learn about how important those memories are, really. That's Felicia Chalmers. She had her mother. She's one of three girls. And their mother lived, Belle Chalmers passed away, of course, but she lived over here on Bluebird Canyon. Summer Chu. Her mom was Candy Chu. Candy and Summer Chu. Names were fun. She had Sawdust Festival. There's Candy Chu. Yeah. And this lady, yeah, that was at the honorary governor's ball. Oh gosh, there's one. I have it captioned, but I don't have it in my head. Darn it, I'm just going through these. Just tell me when to stop and I'll stop. This 2 or 3 minutes, fine, good. Anyway, Ballet Pacifica, that's the dress for, it was the Moldavian dances. But the skirts and that, the outfits, Leela Zolli made all the clothes for these things by hand. She had made, oh gosh, hundreds of costumes. And the big fire in '93 burned them all down, burnt the whole thing out, out there in Canyon Acres. It's so sad. She was Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. She was a big deal. But her making her costumes herself, it's just on that. These girls, that's Roger Fobel in the middle, Lisa Robertson, Belinda Smith. They were over 6 feet tall, around that tall, the girls. They would never fit into a regular ballet company because they were considered too tall. The ballet companies like San Francisco Ballet fired all of their girls who were under 5'6" or over 5'8". Yeah, it was upsetting as all hell to the whole thing, but that's what the companies did. They wanted them like just all alike. And that's the problem. But these girls had a home here in Laguna, but Lisa and Belinda are terrific. Belinda went on to be the MGM Grand. They're a person to rely on there. She took over there. There's Regumba. Yeah, Belinda Smith, can't say enough about her. There's Alicia Corey. Yeah, Candy. Alicia was wonderful. She married Timothy Bottoms. Yeah, and Timothy Bottoms had his kid, the nickname was Bucky Bottoms, named him Bucky, right? Yeah. There's Levy Cornelison, Father Bob Cornelison's daughter, one of 3 daughters. Here's Madame Quaylak, lived right about 2 blocks from here with her kitty cat, Sandra Wineski's grandmother in ballet. There's Dave Johnson, he was the juggler at Sawdust. I just like the picture, wild. In the ballet studio, there's Lisa Robertson, that's Belinda. There's the boardwalk being built. Yeah, that was neat to go down there and see what's going on. There's Jim Dilley, Barbara Stewart, and Michael Schley out inspecting the boardwalk as it was going on. There they are standing there on Main Beach. This is good, yeah, no. Italo De Andrea is an artist from Italy. He's a friend of Diane Wright's. They're building the boardwalk. Yeah, a friend of Julie Sederholm's, Barbara Diarujo, quite a name. Yeah, okay, we're about done then, that's good. And that's at Trotter's. That's the Janet Wright. She was the owner of Trotter's Bakery at the time, so that's good enough. And there's the Newport Ferry. Everybody needs a Newport Ferry. Yeah, Visions and Tops and the Highway and Denny's restaurant at the right. Gosh, I mean, yeah, it goes on. And Jim Dilley looking at you. That's pretty good. And his dog, that's Patrick, his collie dog, in Broadway. And Bud Kaiser and his parrot. Anybody know Bud? Remember Bud? My gosh, you said there every day you saw Bud Kaiser, the boardwalk. Okay. Going home. I hope that was enjoyable.
Wow. Thank you, Doug. I've got a feeling we could hear the stories and view the pictures for another hour or more. But for me, partly because I came here after the period that you're mostly showing, to know and see the effort that people in the community put in order to preserve the green belt, in order to make a community, in order to sustain and maintain a community. And one of the things I was thinking was the thought to capture as these things were happening, to capture in our present what's happening so that we have them for the future. So thank you.
That's what I thought. Being a contemporary photo, I thought, so who are you? What taking pictures for? Who are you? I'm maybe a historian, but I'm not really. So I said contemporary photo historian. That describes it.
Absolutely. I'm going to repeat that so the folk on Zoom as well. What Doug is saying is every town should have a contemporary photo historian, because our present is what's going to inform our future. And we can probably all contribute to that. So thank you again so much, but not with as much artistry as you have. So now we'll have our closing hymn. Please stand as if you're comfortable in body, mind, or spirit. Join Carol in singing hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. So this beautiful hymn always makes me think about Laguna, this fellowship. It makes me think about the power of the ocean in our lives and the power of this community. So please join us in singing Blue Boat Home.
Oh, below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor nor port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sky, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting in my ship's companion. All we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heaven in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I am upon the fathoms, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Ooh.
Now is the time for us to extinguish the chalice here at the fellowship at UUFLB and also within our homes with the words of Deborah Burrell, a member of the UU Metro Atlanta North congregation. We have basked in the warmth and beauty of this flame and this community. As the chalice flame is extinguished, let us carry its glow within. Let us kindle new sparks within these walls and beyond. The words of the benediction I've chosen this morning were written by Reverend Jim McGaw of the UU Church of South Hills in Pittsburgh. And when I read them, I thought of them as inspiration to be a force in community. And so I chose to share them with you. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease and comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace seeking justice. I mean go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace.
Please join me in singing Let There Be Peace on Earth. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solid vow. To take each moment in peace, eternally.